Welcome to Imagination Station at Adventure Island. Today is the last day of VBS, and I hope you've had a wonderful time here learning about God's love for each one of us. So today we are going to make a liquid lantern. So what you will need, and this will be provided for you, is a clear cup, and it can be any size. You will need a half cup of dark corn syrup, a half cup of vegetable oil, a half cup of dishwashing liquid, a half cup of rubbing alcohol, and you can add food coloring in it to make it colorful. You will need a half cup of water, and you can use a different color to put in the water. You will also need your measuring cup to measure out each one of these different types of liquids. I also have a funnel like this, and we have our 5 cups that we will pour each liquid in to see what it looks like before we put them all together. So now I'm going to pour each one of these liquids that I pre-measured into each one of these cups. So here I have the rubbing alcohol, and I'm going to use my funnel, and I'm going to use it to help me pour it into this cup. And I can just let it sit there to make sure all of the liquid gets in the cup. Then I'm going to pour in my vegetable oil. And I can use the same funnel to help me pour into this cup. Now, I'm going to use the dishwashing liquid and my funnel to pour into the 3rd cup. And you can notice it's a little thicker than the other 2 liquids. Now, I'm going to get the dark corn syrup and my funnel and pour it into the 4th cup. And you can see how thick this liquid is. Now, I'm going to measure out my water. So, just like the other liquids, I need a half cup of water. So I'm going to use my 4th cup measuring cup. So here's 1 and 2 to make 1/2 cup. Then I'm going to get my food coloring, and I chose to use red, and I'm just going to put a couple of drops in. Then if you have a spoon, you can mix it up with that, or you could just twirl the cup around. So now, as you can see, I have my rubbing alcohol that I've mixed with green food coloring, my vegetable oil, my dishwashing liquid, my dark corn syrup, and my water that I've mixed with red food coloring. So now comes to the really fun part. But there's a special order we have to pour each of these liquids. So the first one we're going to pour into our cup that we're going to put all of our liquids in is we're going to start with dark corn syrup. So I'm just going to pour some of it in, enough to where you can see it. I'm going to put it to the side. Next, I'm going to add my dishwashing liquid. And you can see how the liquids aren't mixing together. Now I'm going to add the water with the red food coloring. Then I'm going to add the vegetable oil. Now I'm going to add our last liquid, the rubbing alcohol that I've added green food coloring to. So you can see that the thicker liquids are at the bottom and the less thicker liquids are at the top. So as you noticed, the liquids that were thicker stayed at the bottom and the ones that were less thick went to the top. This is because they have different densities. This is why certain objects can float on water and some will sink. And as you can see, the colors of each liquid continue to shine bright.